All right, folks, if there is one thing I wish I knew before getting into AMC, before buying AMC, is the amount of shenanigans happening here and all the efforts and the energy that the short sellers on the other side of this play were willing or are willing to go under to put up with in order to prevent the share price from going to the moon. And is it a blame? No, not necessarily, because everybody kind of, got his head around what is happening here with AMC at his own pace. But when I bought AMC back in December of 2019, it was really because of a reopening play, all right? And at the time, I wasn't aware of all the amount of corruption, and I think not many people did. And as we uncovered a lot more, of how big this play, it's even beyond just you and I buying AMC stock for life-changing money. And if I wish I knew that even before, back then in January, I would have bought more shares, even though the share price is down now, 75% from the highs, which I believe it's not the highest we've seen so far for AMC. Yes, I do believe I wish I knew that and I bought more. But even further than that, when you kind of stretch a little bit this idea, it gets you to the point where, because we know the market evolves in cycle, I do believe, and this is something a lot of us don't actually take a lot in or kind of realize, is the share price, when the squeeze starts, is not going to go from $0 to $1,000 a share in a single day. No. I mean, we all got in here of hoping that, in a matter of 2 weeks top, it's going to be 8, and we're going to be out with securing big bags, of cash. But it didn't happen. And because the market evolves in cycle, there's going to be cycle like this past week where everything is up, like we are gaining and gaining and gaining. It's going to be another week where, like the beginning of January, where we were being down. But when you actually get to understand the mechanics of how sometimes these price action or dynamics can push, the share price of a stock like AMC, then you can make a better educated guess, and put your money to work with you while you sleep, which is kind of different from putting your money in a horse running or a dog fighting, if you see what I mean. But the bottom line is, I think many people, including me at the beginning of this whole thing, thought and expected that it's going to go to the moon, whatever that moon price represents or reflects in your mind. But the thing is, and the reality is, it's not going to go from $19 where it's sitting currently at, to 1900 tomorrow. I mean, not that it cannot happen, but with trading halts and maybe a potential suspension from, the regulators, maybe the New York Stock Exchange suspension as well, it is going to be a little bit different. But my point is, if you are expecting the share price to go to the moon literally weeks after weeks without pulling back a little bit, because outside of the short covering, there's going to be also other catalysts, like day traders, people who are just buying here in order to sell there, and once they sell there, boom, they're out. And then when it dips, because when you sell and you are a bunch of you selling, it reduces the share price, the price action, and prevents it from going even higher. So there's going to be people that are looking for the lows and the highs. So it's going to affect also the price dynamics and the price action. But if you already know and you expect it to happen, you will be more able to actually monitor and deal with it in a better way, in a more efficient way, as a real smart investor. Why? Because today, the share price can be running at 500 from 200 or maybe 100. Yeah, that's 500% higher. I mean, yeah, literally 500% higher. So it gets from 100 to 500 today. Tomorrow, it pulls back to 300. That's $200 a share. $200 a share that you are losing in your account, before the next day actually going to double the 500. So that's $1,000 a share. So are you big enough or strong enough up here to maintain and control and get your emotions in check, while when it drops $200 a share, you don't panic doing something stupid and then doing something even more stupider when it gets to 1,000, because you didn't get your emotions in check. Because when it comes to money, especially life-changing money, as we are looking here in AMC, it's very easy to let greed take care or take the lead in your emotions. And when it gets to money, 100% of the time, or let's just say 99% of the time, when you get emotional, the decisions you're making are not the right decision at the moment because you don't think right. You don't think right. So we've come so far, not only to come so far. So it's been hard and it's going to be a lot more harder because big money is going to be in sight. So if you can't handle $2, $3, $10 a share drop or gain, maybe you're not worthy to actually be here when it comes to $500 or $1,000 a share because it's going to be a lot more dramatic. And only you have answer to that question. So what is it?